Hello, this is Sheshachalam from Astroguide Mysore. So, continuing our subject to understand which of the planets pertaining to a particular ascendant becomes a malefic, a sort of mixture of a benefic and a malefic, that is, we call it as partially benefic, or which particular planet will become a prime malefic. Let us understand these things. And today we are talking for the ascendant sign of Leo. So this is Leo. As per the South Indian chart, because I can't accommodate two charts, it's a little cumbersome process. So anyway, so the sign of Leo, the Lord is Sun, and it is always considered that Sun is a benefic. Ascendant Lord is always considered benefic. It might give some malefic results depending on dual lordship, but here it's having only one sign, and Sun is a prime benefic for Leo. So now, going ahead, we have the second lord as Mercury, which is also the 11th lord. So, being the second lord, Mercury attains the portfolio of a Maraka. So, being a Maraka is a planet which can give situations of sudden loss of health, or even situations where the longevity can suddenly become difficult, that is death like situations. I don't like to prefer to use those words, but still Maraka means the one who finishes off or shows exit. So the 11th lord is also known as the lord of misery, difficulty, and hurdles. Why did I use the word misery? Because in this case, the 11th lord becomes the Rogasthana Adhipati. That is the sixth from the sixth. If I take the sixth house as Makara Rashi, the sixth from it is Mithuna Rashi, that is Gemini, and the lord of Gemini is Mercury. It is a malefic lord. So the 11th lord is a malefic. The second lord is a partial benefic because it represents family, it represents the face, it represents your expressions, your speech, vaksthana, your kutumba, that is family, then your food. So it's a good house. It represents wealth, but since it's a maraka, it becomes a kind of malefic. So I would put a small malefic sign here, but it is a benefic and it is a malefic here. No doubt it's a malefic. So this becomes a partially malefic. Depending on where it is placed, Mercury, if Mercury and Sun are giving rise to Buddha Aditya Yoga, for this particular sign, the ninth house where Sun gets exalted, if Mercury is there along with it, it gives extraordinary results, beautiful results. So it depends on where Mercury is placed. So the partial malefic strength of Mercury keeps varying depending on its position. So let us go to the next sign. We have Venus, which is the 10th lord and also is the third lord. So, being the third lord, it is Upachaya Sthanadipati, and being the 10th lord, it is also Upachaya Sthanadipati. So, Venus is for growth, profession, as it is the lord of the house of karma. So, this is the house of karma, actions. We cannot directly call Venus as a malefic for this ascendant. It's greater towards being a benefic, but if it is badly posited, so if I tell badly posited, then where it should be posited, sir? Okay, If Venus is exalted for this ascendant, see the fun. Venus being exalted for this ascendant, it will be placed in the 8th house. A very peculiar placement. It will give extraordinary growth. It will give very good education, good children, but it will give a disturbed married life. It will give a disturbed health. So that is, health and marriage, big things, in our lifetime, we will go through a lot of challenges. So I just gave you an example of Venus being in the 8th house. Okay. So, like that, if you have Venus in the 6th house also, not a good position for Sun, that is for Leo. So, it is positionally, again, this becomes a malefic, and I will again call it as a partially malefic. It is not fully malefic because it holds super strong houses, the 3rd house and the 10th house, and particularly the 10th house for Venus. It can give very good, posh, artistic, excellent professional life. The 4th house is owned by Mars, and also it owns the Bhagyasthana, the 9th lord it is. 4th for all the luxuries in life, all the materialistic luxuries in life, and 9th for all the luck, fortune, and good, smooth, comfortable life. So Mars becomes the prime yoga karaka. Yoga karaka, that is the planets which can give very good yogas, like the Raja yogas. So Mars is nowhere near, it's 100% yoga karaka. 100% yoga karaka for this particular sign. If it is badly posited, that means it is weak, and the ascendant will be susceptible to other problems. But if Mars is strongly posited in this chart, excellent, because it is the lord of Kendra and also lord of a Trikona, that is quadrant and trine. So it doesn't possess the bad malefic strength of Kendradipatya dosha. Kendradipatya dosha gets nullified because it is also the lord of a Trikona. So that is no more valid. Kendradipatya dosha for this particular sign is no more valid. Secondly, there is another question that for Sthira Rashi, that is for a fixed sign, the 9th lord becomes the Badaka. So here, having Kendradipatya dosha and also being a Badaka, natural Badaka. Badaka means the planet which will become an obstacle, which will create hurdles to your success. But having Kendradipatya dosha, it will pose a lot of difficulties in attaining materialistic achievements, status, position. But both are nullified. It gets cancelled, totally gets cancelled, because it is a Kendra lord and also a Trikona lord for this particular Lagna, and it is extraordinary planet for Leo. So let us go to the 5th house, which is owned by Jupiter, a very generous and a strong planet for higher education and spirituality. It is also the lord of the 8th house. So, being the 8th lord, it gives you a lot of desire that for achievement. Desire for achievement is good, but obsessively, if your desires are too much, it becomes obsession. It's dangerous. So passion, until that, passion is good. So it depends on where the 8th lord is posited. If the 8th lord is posited in the 3rd house or something like that, it becomes too strong, and the person would not want to work at all, but wants everything else in life. So that will be a different, predictive technique altogether. But still, the 5th lord Jupiter, being its Mula Trikona, Jupiter becomes one of the strongest benefics. But being the 8th lord, the benefic strength will reduce. So sometimes it can also become malefic. So let us say it is 80% benefic. So depending on where it is posited, if at all it is posited along with Mars, it gives fantastic Raja Yogas. We'll come to Saturn. Saturn's Mula Trikona is Aquarius. And being the seventh house, seventh lord, and also the sixth lord. Sixth lord is fine, but being the seventh lord, it becomes a direct opposition to Sun because Saturn is strong in the west, Sun is strong in the east. They are opposites. So, though Saturn can give rise to a strong Sasa Yoga when it is placed in Aquarius, Saturn is considered a malefic because it is going to gain Kendra Adipatya dosha for this particular Lagna. But still, being the sixth lord, Saturn loves the sixth house because it loves you doing service. So, if the person is spiritually motivated, wants to do service, wants to do charity, wants to help people, then Saturn will give it will have a soft corner towards him and it will help him. So, the point is that depending on what this person does in his life and how he behaves in his life, Saturn's malefic results will keep varying. So if he is more humble towards this creation, humble towards animals, people, and their tries to elevate people from their pain, then the malefic results will be very less. So the point is here that the more the spiritual the person becomes in service, physical service, because Saturn is physical service, then the spiritual planet Sun will be happy. So, point is, Saturn again is a partially malefic, but this partial malefic is more. So, let us take it as 70% malefic. So, there are no prime malefics for this particular ascendant. We will come to Moon. Moon and Sun, the friends there, being the 2-12 combination, this is the second from Moon and this is the 12th from Sun. But still being the 12th Lord, because I have been repeatedly telling that 6, 8, 12, these Lords are called Triksthanadipatis. Triksthanadipatis. Tough times, people will have to encounter losses, sudden losses, have to leave their country, go somewhere else for a job, have to leave their cities, go to some remote areas to work, loneliness, going through a lot of depression. The 12th Lord also can give that. That is Moon. So that means Moon is also not a great benefic or it's not a great malefic. It again is partial. So 50%. So I am talking in percentages here. It might not be so accurate, but still it works. So the only planet which is 100% benefic is Mars, and all the other planets are one way or the other having malefic. So there is no prime malefic for Leo. So thank you very much for today's class.